after last week will be extremely disappointed. And sometimes when you get beaten that badly by a team that you predicted to go with, I think, you can really have an opportunity to bounce back. And they wouldn't have wanted this week to come any quicker, I'd say, for the Demons.
Let's talk about Bodle. He's an in for Perth, and he is a goal-kicking option, but you've got a little bit of statistical magic around him.
Yeah, Jack Bodle. So he's only playing his 15th league game today for Perth, and he's been there every year since 2018. So 71 reserves game in that time. I think we often forget, how committed these guys can be at the best of times. And Jack Bodle, I mean, he could have been easily forgiven for, moving clubs or going down to the local level. Credit to him for sticking it out, and he gets another opportunity today. But we're just about ready to go here from Lane Group Stadium. Solar Logistics WAFL round 3 from Mandurah. Both these teams searching for win number 2 and to secure their spot in the top 5 for at least now moving forward. Tim Lees is going to get us underway here on 7 Plus from Lane Group Stadium.
Here we go, Peel Thunder. Are they the real deal in 2026? And for the Demons, can they put last week to bed and announce themselves in the season? Edwards got the tap down, but the clearance goes to Peel Thunder. Long kick in towards full forward. First use for the Thunder. Sanders front and square. Good crumbing in the end. It was Walters, and the kick comes to full forward. Magnificent work, and Nichols has got it. Rothy, how'd you see it?
Yeah, perfect start. Hopefully Charlie Nichols can nail this, but first clearance, and Charlie Nichols, one of these 13 listed Dockers players in his second year on the list, and he seems to get better with every game that he plays.
Would be a magnificent start, wouldn't it, for his team. Has played a bit of key back as well, hasn't he? So a real swing man in this Thunder lineup. In the wrong pocket for a right footer, 45-degree angle, and he's kicked off one step. It's a shocker at the back, almost taking the mark. Thunder working hard. It's Tregenza in there. I thought that went out of bounds. Play on, says the umpire. Just trying to pick it up was Dean. Fumbled it. Here they go again. Tuia. Well done for the Thunder. Got the hand pass into the corridor. Sanders, the Colonel, draws first blood. Superb, opportunist goal from Sanders, wasn't it? But really the bulk of the work was done by Tuia right near the boundary line.
Great start for Thunder. Sanders kicks his 4th goal of the season. We get started once more. O'Driscoll hand passes out to Sharp, as mentioned. 27 disposals, 3 goals last week in that loss. Tuia goes one way, then the other. Then hand passes it back inside. Goes over the top to Draper. Draper out wide. Can go to a man on league debut in Toby One. Toby One looked like a great ball inside 50. Edwards tries to shrug off, a guy who's no stranger to this ground. Josh Edwards playing his Colts footy for Peel Thunder. Goes out wide to Baxter Phillip, who can just take a deep breath for the D's. He goes down the line. Just might have kept that into the Sandover medalist in Constable. He's also had a great start to the season. 36 disposals and 35 in his first 2 games. No doubt extra responsibility on his shoulders though, with no Brandon Parfitt out there today. Goes over the back, picking up. In fact, he went off the deck, was Clark. Inside 50, the furthest the ball has gone so far for the D's. Trying to go one way, then the other's Brandon Walker, showing off his speed and did well to keep the ball in. Got the 1-2 back. It wasn't intended for him, but he stole it from his teammate in the end. They hugged the boundary line, going short. That ball from them is intercepted though, and Phillip gets his second touch in a matter of moments. He goes deep inside 50, but over the back is McDonald. Very experienced Oscar McDonald. Started the year in the Freo lineup, but finds himself back in the Thunder. Sanders, the goal kicker, working hard up the ground. Goes over to Tregenza. Picking up cleanly with the D's. Bit of back and forth. Pass to play, and the captain, Jack Sears, will take the mark. Not a lot to go for, so needs to go conventionally back down the line. too much for Tregenza, but he did well to take the mark when it seemed like it was over his head. Back into the lineup, missed due to suspension last week, but kicked a couple of goals on this ground on Good Friday. And that ball's just going to be held up. Long whistle, but it will be just inside Thunder's 50 as they search for their second.
So ball up on right half forward for Peel Thunder. Working hard in there is Cossa, the big fella. Magnificent sportsmanship shown from him. Shaking the umpire's hand at the first bounce. Edwards and Cossa. What a matchup that is this afternoon. First use goes to Caldo. Well done to Sharp. Good hand passing and ball play here by the Thunder. It was Cossa in the end who got it across, and then they go to the corridor. Chip kick in, just backward of the true centre forward position. And it's Caldo to full forward. Didn't have a captain Cook. And Baxter's got it on a string at the moment. Baxter Phillip, and that kick is a shocker. There's a fleet of Thunder with Tuia. Well done. They get the hand pass inboard from the boundary line. Hacked off the ground, deep in the left full forward pocket. And seen over the line by Charlie Dean, and Tregenza going for the deliberate, but not having anything of it, the umpire.
Tregenza's the ultimate competitor in this Thunder lineup. He might have to go and do the ruck duties against Edwards, which he does. It's been great performance, albeit just the one goal for the Thunder as they search for their second so far. Murray in there, Tobin Murray in a couple of disposals early. So is Phillip, not sure he dispossessed of that. Taylor, veteran for the Demons, goes out and hacks it out as far as he possibly can, but might not have done enough. As Josh Draper says, can you get the ball for me over the boundary line? I don't want to have to climb over.
Ominous signs early here for the Demons. Peel Thunder, they seem like they're up and about.
Josh Draper. What does he do? He's going to go the longer approach to the tip of the goal square. There's a few players down there. Tregenza stay down. Sanders applied the pressure, and the beneficiary of that is Archie Caldo. Great pressure there from Sanders, doing it on the offensive end and then doing it on the defensive end to set up.
You did right. That goal is due to the pressure, isn't it? On the defender trying to clear, and Caldo just grinning like the Cheshire Cat, the right place at the right time.
So Archie Caldo, second year in the WAFL competition after coming over from Victoria. Had 17 disposals on Good Friday and maybe got dropped unlucky, but had 34 disposals in the reserves last week to basically say, I'm not going to be playing reserves for a second straight week, banging down Adam Reid's door, and he comes in for a set shot that never looked likely. Stays in the field of play, but missing it through, as he's done many a time, is Elijah Scoble.
Scoble, big contender for the Golden Fist. Val Denny Frawley. Always think of him when I see a big punch from the defenders. Gotta love to see it. And Taylor in game 144, the veteran, kicks long towards right half back. Well done, Jeremy Sharp. Goes in a couple of times and then feeds the hand pass out to Juan, the former South Freo Colt last season. Then gets the hand pass back. Juan, brilliant work. The left foot into the pocket. And that's out of bounds. Riddle on the lead. And again, some superb defensive work, and it's Connor Singh this time for the Demons.
Yeah, the backs have been under pressure, but they're holding up pretty well so far. Connor Singh just feeling that one there. Another boundary throw in on the right-hand side of the screen. Great to have your company here on 7+. Comes down to Scoble. Didn't have price to the umpire. Riddle's in there. Hand passes it out. Tardrew is going to pick it up. Sharp loves the goal for the Thunder. Snapping ball around the body. He's not going to get there, and holding his ground well is Charlie Dean, who is a real find for the Demons. Of course, 14 AFL games with Collingwood.
That is a superb mark, isn't it?
Helping out the likes of Scoble. And kicks it out of defence. Making a contest of it. Phillip. Hand pass over the top. Last McCasker, who's back into the lineup today, the former Blue and Swan Districts player. Draper mobs it up. Davies goes back, and they'll spread through Hewitt, who looks to go corridor. Finds Hancock. Ben Hancock, of course, played in Premiership back in 2017. He's been a real stalwart The Thunder goes to Toby Wan on league debut. Hard to believe this is Toby Wan's first game of league footy at all. Didn't play a league game for South Freo last year, but he won the Jack Clark medal in the Colts, as well as being a key contributor in the state 18s on his way to being drafted by Fremantle as an NGA, Category B NGA player. Short to Hewitt, playing across half back. Just about gone almost 10 minutes here in this first quarter. 7-point lead is the Thunder. Hewitt down the line. No one really got to that in the end, apart from Dean, who can assess his options. Dangerous ball, but it works out well for Catchard. Catchard spearing ball into the middle for Clark. He hand passes it off to the ever-reliable Taylor. Davis is eager to play on, but he might just be held up for a moment. This is a good opportunity for Perth to try and find their first major, and a nice ball into the pocket, and on a searching lead is Klusk.
Yeah, Davis, a lot of the ball last week against South Fremantle, silky left foot, and that's no different. Magnificent kick to Klusk, and can they get one back here, Rothy?
Just to settle the nerves a little bit, Perth. Jack Klusk got a household name in the WAFL competition, but sometimes it's a matter of putting a name on the map on a day like this. Comes in, tough kick, umpire barely moves, and Perth are on the board here at Lane Group Stadium. Took over 10 minutes, but the D's fire back. Jack Klusk with his first goal of the day, and the D's finally getting on the board. They trail by 1 point here in Mandurah.
So 1 point the difference, 11 minutes gone first quarter. The Demons kicking to the left of screen. And Cossa on top of Edwards forces the ball out. And it was Kirk, his quick kick to centre half forward. Good play. It was Johnston over the top to the advantage of the teammate in Gardner. And the kick comes in to full forward. 2-on-1, Peel Thunder win out. And Glass McCasker, that surname Glass is a big one, isn't it? Former Aaron Glass. Sorry, not Aaron Glass, Darren Glass. A former Perth legend. Not sure if there's any relation in there.
Don't think so, but Jesse Glass McCasker did debut for Perth in the elimination final last year. Debuted for the club in a final. It's very rare to see.
Magnificent mullet as well. So Cossa. And they get the clearance through Sharp. Jeremy Sharp's quick kick towards left half back. Contest. It's Tregenza working hard. We're going to have another ball up. So Edwards wrapping him up. So the Donnybrook boy, Scott Tuia, just on the edge of that contest. Cossa gets pushed out by Edwards. Well done. And they hack it to centre half forward. Crumbs come to Klusk. Put your glasses down, the Demons hit the lead. Jack Klusk, opportunistic goal, brilliant crumbing. Couldn't believe his luck. Rothy was all by himself and slammed it home for full points. 5 points the difference.
Well, they say one brings two, and in the form of Jack Klusk, that couldn't be more true. The former Sydney Swans VFL player coming across to test his chances out here in the WAFL. Another ball up. As the D's, they've made the most of the opportunities so far. 2 goals straight. 13 minutes gone in this first quarter. Riddle in the ruck with Glass McCasker. Comes down. Kirk putting his hand up. There's a little bit of a Sydney Swans connection. Of course, Indy Kirk, son of Brett Kirk, coming across as well. So it's no secret that bringing one player across can make a little bit of an impact for teammates and that sort of thing.
He was so good last week as well.
Sanders, fierce tackle applied in that contest.
Yeah, I thought he was best last week. Kirk, he was brilliant.
Didn't play any games, but was on Sydney Swans list as well in the AFL scene. Comes down to Tardrew. Hand pass there. Simpson in the number 3. Gets it back. Tardrew. 27 disposals back-to-back weeks to start this season. Cowdo runs his full measure. His best kick, but making good work. It was real. He had a good piece of it, and umpire said, "I'll give you the free kick for holding anyway." Just a slight jump off grab. Aiden Riddle. Actually played more reserves games this year for Peel than he did last year in his first year at the Dominguez. Funny enough, Sharp turns the opponent one way than the other. Jeremy Sharp loves the goal on the run, and it might not be a goal, but it might be one to set up. Just Keith Alden Nichols, who takes it just inside the field of play.
Could be a left foot snap here.
He doesn't look super confident, Charlie Nichols. As soon as he marked it, he looked inside for his options. He is a right footer, so this will test out how much golf practice he has done from this angle at Fremantle training.
Or will it be a check side?
Looks like he might be going for the left foot snap with the way he's holding the ball. He comes in, that did not look.
I think someone's doing banana practice during the week.
I don't want to be too hard, but he's an AFL listed player. Enough said on that, but didn't look confident.
Yeah, not one for the highlight reel there. So Perth to bring the footy back in. How long is gone now? 15 and a half minutes gone. Deep in the right full-back pocket. And Davis throws it on the right foot. Hits up Singh. Called to play on. Singh goes inboard. Dicey kick. Davies, good punch. Still a chance here. Scoville on hands and knees. Tardrew in there, trying to get her holding the ball. Umpire having nothing of it, so we'll press the reset button. It's left half forward for Peel Thunder, kicking to the forum end. Riddle gets over the top. Superb. Crumbing, and they kick it to full forward. Murray, outstanding work. But Perth showing great resilience and finds Scoville deep in the left full back pocket.
Scoville deep in the back pocket. Doesn't have a heck to go with, and that is a dreadful kick, but can they make them reply? Tuia on his left. This should be bread and butter, and it in fact is. So they make the Demons pay through Scott Tuia, who is a live wire for the Thunder on most occasions. No different there. Scott Tuia got the handball received from Jack Sears, and on his trusty left made the Demons pay. Scott Tuia just so reliable. He was the only player for Peel Thunder in their 2024 premiership to play every single game that season. That speaks volumes of how highly he's rated and how consistent he's been.
How good was Sears then as well to produce the opportunity? So Riddle jumps over the top, front left. Constable got first use but couldn't pick it up, and a dumping tackle. And it looks like, is that a sling or is it a ball up? No, let's let it go. It was Byrne. Solid tackle then. Folded him up like a deck chair. And Riddle and Edwards. Edwards gets it down in front. Riddle bustling through, trying to barge his way through, but Edwards said, not on my watch. So another ball up, just backward of the centre for Peel Thunder. Perth looking to wrestle back the lead. And it was O'Driscoll gave it across to Tardrew, and then he got it back, and they've got it on centre wing. Hewitt gets involved. The Rocco Ram, and great tackle, pressure. And it's Hein Baston. Gives it off quickly to Kirk. And now they go long through Hein Baston again. Davies, the Rock of Gibraltar. Oh, they've turned it over though. That's a shocker from Davies. They've got the numbers and support through Tuia. On right half back, good pressure Perth. Still not out of trouble. Cowdo measures it towards Sanders territory. And that is a magnificent contest. Charlie Dean forced it over the line against Sanders, and looked like Sanders was going to come away with it. Brilliant pressure by the Dees.
Looked like they could have been in a bit of trouble there, the Thunder, but they got away with it. 1 point leaders. We head towards the 20-minute mark, just about in this opening term here on 7 Plus. Coming at you from Lane Group Stadium.
Tardrew's starting to work his way into it, isn't he, Rothy?
And there's so many AFL listed players to worry about. That's where Tardrew and those sorts of players can pop up. Simpson side by side there with Evans, picking up cleanly was Walker, but he had company right with him the whole way. And that's a dangerous tackle team by the umpires.
Simpson was just given a few love taps on the way through there, mate.
The far side looks to be opened up. They go to Davies. Davies wastes no time playing on, goes furthermore to Sears. Sears has Watson with company, but did well to trap it in front. Not once, but twice off the deck. Up towards half forward. True test of athleticism there for Nichols, sliding into it. And wants deliberate. Cashard uses the boundary line as his friend.
Perth a little bit upset there. They didn't get the kicking in danger. It kind of was like the definition of it, wasn't it? So you got to reward the players trying to pick it up, surely.
Yeah, it can be a grey area sometimes, that rule. Another boundary thrown. There's been a fair few of them on that side. From Peel Thunder's front half. Watson hand pass. Kirk with a standing set went around the body to a 2-on-2, and Clark takes the mark. In fact, it might have been a block going the way against him, and Davies will be the beneficiary of it. Hugh Davies has had to be so patient this time on Fremantle's list. Of course, very hard to get a game over the likes of Cox and Pearce. He's had a couple of games, but that's a luxury for Peel Thunder having in his back defences. They move the ball inside 50, and Riddle holds his ground well to take the mark in front of Edwards. Aidan Riddle, another one of these young dockers on the rise.
Great pluck, wasn't it? You can see right there what Fremantle's seeing him. Former Subiaco Colt.
So Aidan Riddle, expect this to be a lot better than his teammate Snap in the form of Nichols beforehand. And much better it is, because it's a 6-pointer to Aidan Riddle, his first goal in league for 2026. So Aidan Riddle will come and collect it from the boundary line. Snapping ball around the body. As mentioned, one of the 5 ins for the Thunder today after playing 8 games of league footy last year. He's on the board in season 2026.
Certainly someone you want at training, doing the goal kicking at the end. So Cossa versus Edwards. Edwards wins out. Constable, 2 efforts, brilliant. Just fed it forward for his team. Byrne couldn't pick it up. Tuia gets involved. Shot for goal for the Thunder. And Tobin Murray has hooked it. And it's through for a minor score. But Rothy, he's looked good, hasn't he, Murray?
Yeah, there's a lot of raps on him in the pre-season. Obviously those at Fremantle coming across as a mature ager from Geelong Falcons. And yeah, he's not finishing on that occasion, but I'm sure more chances will come his way.
So Catchard with the footy. Shout out to Claremont. He's actually a former Claremont Colt. Thanks for that correction, Rothy. As Dean comes through from the true centre-half-back position. This is a big contest on centre wing. Caldo, superb stuff. Beat Baxter Gray. And then the hand pass over the top from Trugenza. He's trying to find Sears. Murray gets the hand pass. O'Driscoll, left foot to full forward in the midst. And again, another shot for goal, Nichols. Magnificent kick in, wasn't it, Rothy?
Yeah, hopefully third time's the charm. He's had a couple of shots, none of them are registered a score yet, so hopefully he can go 2 steps further.
Charlie Nichols. And I reckon after that last one, he might have a case of the yips. Full forwards or forward line players, they're funny beasts, aren't they? But he's taking his time here, doing the right thing. Following the routine, twirls the pigskin. Will kick from 40 metres in the right pocket for a right footer. Drills it, but it's off to the left-hand side. And another minor score, Rothy.
Hasn't got his kicking boots on just yet in this first quarter, Charlie Nichols, but it's taken him a couple of nice grabs. So we'll look to build on that as Hindbassen brings it out. No one on the mark, so cleared it quite easily out of the back half. Phillip, long hand pass over the top, having to wait for it. Not the best decision, but Phillip will follow up and get back onto his right boot. Didn't hit his target, reeling in with Wills. First time we've called his name today, Riley Wills. Murray is going to be caught on the wrong side, has to use the boundary line as his friend, and luckily it was within range, and that's going to be a free kick going the way of Riley Wills. Now, Murray can't believe his luck, and I mean, he dropped the ball before the free kick was really given, so maybe you feel for Toby Murray there, but Riley Wills doesn't need a lot of the footy to make his opposition pay, and he can go back and have a pretty good effort after the ball was a fair way out from goal from there.
They need more of this from Wills, don't they? Last week, he was definitely one of the few players that probably won his position or at least levelled it. There weren't too many winners across the ground, so Wills can play.
Kicked 3 goals as well in round 1 over the Eagles. So his third year at the club. Won a Jack Clark medal for Subiaco in the Colts as an overager back in 2023. Comes in, pretty steady approach. Does the wind do enough? It just drifts to the right-hand side of the goalpost. So they're first behind, their first blemish really in front of the goal, and they trail by 8 points as the 25-minute mark passes here in Mandurah.
So 25 and a half minutes gone. Peel Thunder clearing from defence. Davies has got the kick in. Just inside the 50, left half back, long kick. Oh, what a mark. Sears, the Falcon, the bird of prey. And then he goes backwards to Murphy, to Davies. They look in control here at the moment. O'Driscoll. Beautiful afternoon for footy in Mandurah. There's O'Driscoll's kick, not the best, and it beats Murray over the line, and that's going to be a free kick. So let's go with Baxter Phillip. He goes backwards, and Perth with the footy on left half back.
Scoble. Still time, you think, for either team to score in this last few minutes of the opening term. Comes to Wills, had no prior. McDonald, rather it's Hancock who's with him the whole way. Edwards assists for the D's. Both teams looking to bounce back after losses last week. A close one, 11 points for Peel, and a bigger one, 46 points for the D's. Sharp keeps that in, but hitting the ball so well. Elijah Scoble, that's a better kick, although it didn't hit his target from his last kick out of back 50. Driscoll piles on, so does Tardrew. Adam Reid as well, this week was named as the Key Estate coach for a second straight year. That game will take place on May 16, so state footy not too far around the corner. Part of a triple header at Sullen Logistics Stadium. Great to see it back at a suburban ground as well.
How good is it? Both the men's and women's playing together at the same venue for the very first time. Edwards taps it down in front. He's done well, Edwards. And Perth can clear from centre half back. Thrown on the boot. Standing in the way, though, was Murphy. But they've got numbers. And it's Catchard with the pill. Kicks it towards right half forward. Leading them over there is Johnston. Did well, kept the footy in front, but Davies, strength, shrugs him out of the way. And there's the siren for quarter time.
So an 8-point deficit. Perth find themselves in, the visitors down here in Mandurah. 3-3-21 Peel Thunder lead Perth, 2-1-13. Scrappy first quarter, bit of back and forth, but nonetheless some goals piled on, and Peel Thunder find themselves in front. Not super convincing, a lot to work through, some single errors as well, but you can't be too harsh. Still fairly early in the season as the players take a break here in Mandurah. And that first quarter, what did you make of it? Thunder out on top, but Perth, they probably took their chances more often than not.
Yeah, they seem to be having plenty of opportunity. I loved Edwards in the ruck. He's really handed it to Cossa early on. Geez, it's pretty even, but I feel like Peel Thunder, they are the better side at the moment. Their running and their pressure and their use of the ball just a little bit superior. Yeah,
they're looking to get a bit more bang for buck as they want to extend this lead out. Perth, we know, coming off a finals campaign last year, but missing some of their key players, looking to step up in that department. We'll take a short break here from Lane Group Stadium and come back for the second quarter with the Thunder lead by 8 points here on 7+. You're watching Round 3, Sullen Logistics WAFL, live from Mandurah. Back soon. Welcome back to Lane Group Stadium. It's Peel Thunder leading by 8 points here in their clash with the Perth Football Club. Tim Lees joins myself, Ethan Roth, in commentary. In quarter time, the Thunder probably wanted to be a bit more further in front, judging how that first quarter played out, but credit to Perth, as you said prior to the break, for taking their opportunities, although they would like a lot more in the second quarter.
Yeah, double the scoring shots, the Thunder, and I feel like they're on the sort of verge of breaking the game open. They've just got superior run, don't they? And look like just their finish was just a little bit better around the ground. But great output from Baxter Phillip around half back. Jeez, he's been good. And Edwards in the ruck as well. So they've got plenty of opportunities to fight back here, Rothy.
See Colin Sanders there, booting the first of the afternoon. Just looking at some of the key movers, Scott Tuia is up to 7 disposals along with the goal. Archie Cowdo also 7, as Jeremy Sharp and Jack Sears seeing some of the highlights from that first quarter.
How good was that punch by Singh? Incredible, put his body on the line. If you're the Perth coach, you're playing that on replay during the week, aren't you?
Yeah, they need a lot more of that in this one. A couple of goals for Jack Class, the Sydney Swans former VFL listed player. 3 disposals as well, so 8 points clear at the moment. Back here, their second home game of the season after hosting on Good Friday. Similar conditions to that day as well. Sunny here in Mandurah, and it's going to be Tim Lees once again to get us underway here on 7+ as we head towards the middle stages of this game.
Here we go for the second instalment of this huge clash. The Perth Demons sitting in 3rd. Peel Thunder in 6th, desperate to break into the top 5. They've been down, Peel Thunder, and they're desperate to get back amongst it. And Riddle having a run in the ruck up against Edwards, who started really well. So a big match up to start. And Riddle gets over the top. Well done. Tarjuru there. Constable all over him. Gets the tackle, or is it holding the man? Oh, geez, that could have gone either way, I reckon. Ball up or holding. So Tarjuru with the pill. Just backward of the centre circle. Takes his time, a bit hesitant, and then drills it to Murray. So Murray now measures it to full forward on the lead. Unable to take the mark, Nichols. Tuia in there, pressuring. No, it's not Tuia. It's Swede, Adam Swede. And in for the Peel Thunder today. So ball up, about 40 metres from goal. The Peel Thunder goal, kicking to the left of screen. Or the city end. And O'Driscoll working hard in there with Constable. So another ball up, pretty much in the identical position. Well done, Edwards. Got the tap down. And here's Wills with space. Kirk providing supporting run. The kick comes to right half back in the mix. Well played. And it's Johnston. Plays on quickly. Finds Constable. Geez, what a tank on Constable. Kicks it to centre half forward. Murphy, red at best. And gets the hand pass on to Sharp. And then Sanders, the young gun, gives it on to Draper. Gives out a stiff arm like a Roman shield. And then the hand pass towards Juan. It was not great. Juan trying to force the ball up. And I think he's successful. So ball up on right half forward for Peel Thunder. Early stages, second quarter.
Ball couldn't have bounced any more unfairly there for Toby Juan's liking. As Edwards grabs out of the ruck and wastes no time chucking it on the boot. Up towards the contest of Johnston. Draper just misread it. Simpson's in and under there with Bodle. Comes out, hand pass from Davis was a quick one. Picking it up, might have to circle back onto his right boot. Johnston does exactly that. Low spearing ball into the path there of Clark. He went to ground. McDonald's with him, and umpire's not going to miss that.
Yeah, no,
9 times out of 10.
Clear free kick there, and gee, this is a big opportunity for Clark to get into the game, isn't it? So
Aaron Clark booted 6 in round 1. Just the 1 goal last week in that 46-point loss, but still hasn't missed a beat in terms of scoring consecutive goals for a while.
Kicked 7 straight in round 1. I'm backing him in here, Rothy.
Was my tip for the Bernie Naylor medal start of the season. He still looks the goods. He's so reliable in front of goal. Another year in these colours coming over from Victoria. He strides in, Aaron Clark, and just sneaks in from behind in the end. It seemed to have a bit of woeful kicking from both ends. Both sides at that end of the ground so far in this one.
You look at the Windsocks, there's nothing in it at the moment, is there, Rothy?
So Simpson to do the inbounding duties, and that's probably a bit too easy for the D's liking as Draper takes an uncontested mark. Just caught in 2 minds. He's eventually going to be called to play on in the number 44 Guernsey today. Is that a push out? Umpire put the whistle away. Clever stuff there from Taylor to keep it in. Clark on the left boot. Clark dropped a mark, but luckily kept his cool. Kirk, that's a nice ball in Bodle. He's pretty eager to get the ball moving on back into the lineup today. And why not? Because there's a player in the form of Edwards who holds his ground to take a mark over his opponent in Riddle, and he can go back and say, Riddle, you kicked the goal earlier from this end and I can match you for my Ds.
Gut running here from Edwards. That was superb stuff against the youngster Riddle. And Edwards, I reckon he's close to Perth's best. He's really working hard, isn't he?
Spent his junior days at Peel Thunder, then went to the West Coast Eagles WAFL for a stint, went to Wembley as well for a stint in the PFL, coming to Perth Demons. So definitely a journeyman in the early stages of his WAFL career. Anytime your rucks can hit the scoreboard, it's a bonus, particularly when your opposition ruck has hit the scoreboard. And you can get one back here. Not quite though, as it drifts towards the left-hand goal post. And Perth, they were accurate to start this one, a bit inaccurate as Peel Thunder lead by one straight kick.
Hewitt, the former Rocco Ram, what a haircut he's got as well. Sears drills it to Tuia. Sears, the former South Mandurah Falcon, and Tuia, the Donnybrook boy. Shout out to any Donnybrook viewers as Davies goes laterally back to Hewitt. Chip kick over the top, finds Murphy. Just cautious play, and they've turned it over here. Perth with the pill, left kick over the top. Put your glasses down, Scoble kicks it. No, it's not Scoble, it's Bodle. Magnificent pressure acts from the Perth Demons, forced the turnover. And we talked about Bodle. He's an in and a goal kicker, and he gets one, doesn't he, Rothy?
Just his 15th game of league footy, and he's been at Perth since 2018. So we're all level here in Mandurah. D's fighting back, and they get another clearance through Edwards. They pile on another, the visitors. Hancock playing across half back. Glass McCasker, Wills over the top. Wanted his teammate there in Baxter Gray. Gray went back, misfired Kirk, who didn't give up side by side with O'Driscoll. The ball eventually spills out. Catchard, Murray off to one. Fellow left footer who just pumps it as long as he can. D's have the numbers though if it sits for Edwards. Didn't quite. Singh has a couple of Thunder players to contend with, and no chance that ball's coming out anytime soon.
It's a hot old ball. Both teams showing incredible pressure.
On this broadcast side win here in Mandurah. Riddle comes down the way of Sharp to Walker, sidestepping. He loves to do that, then goes with the hand. Riddle just went a bit half-hearted in the end there, spinning in 360 almost. Was Gardner, and Wills can run. Lowers his eyes. Clark has to wait for the cavalry to arrive. Chipping ball, looks precise, and Glass McCasker takes it. Drifting forward, Jesse Glass McCasker. He's been spending a bit of time ruck and in the back, and he's a bit of a jack of all trades with the mullet to complement it.
How good's the work rate from Clark, pushing up the ground, providing those options. He's the experienced player. We asked for him to step up, and he's certainly done that, hasn't he?
Jesse Glass McCasker, speaking about journeys, was on Carlton's list for 1 year. Swan Districts, and debuted last year. Actually played reserves in round 20 to debut for the club, but in terms of league footy, debuted in that elimination final win when they broke that almost 3-decade duck of not winning a final. And he carries that in here to start his 2026 campaign with a bang. The D's, they've come out firing in this second. Jesse Glass McCasker puts the D's in front for the first time today. And seems like the right-hand side is the goal-kicking end for the time being.
Outstanding from Ethan Roth. A walking encyclopedia when it comes to footy stats. Love it as Edwards gets... Well, he gets the tap down in front, then the second effort, brilliant, to centre forward. And here's Bodle again, feeds it back to Clark. They've got numbers, Perth and Constable on the outside of his right boot. That was clever in the end, but floating in, superb by Sanders. He's already kicked a goal, and he's led well. He's got Hewitt, and is it 50 metres? I think it is. So this is a big moment for Peel Thunder. Perth have just poked their noses in front, 4-3-27 to 3-3-21. Peel Thunder, after leading at quarter time and looking in control, the kick comes into centre half forward, unable to take the mark. Here's Murray again, been getting plenty of it. Feeds it back to Tuia. Sharp on the right boot, long and strong. What a kick! He's kicked it from downtown. Sharp. It scores a level here in Mandurah. A couple of great efforts there by Tuia and Murray provided the opportunity for Sharp, and what a long bomb goal, Rothy.
He's renowned for that, Jeremy Sharp, at the best of times, being able to hit the scoreboard with a cannon of a leg on him when he gets going. And hard to separate the two sides at the moment. Back into the middle once more. Sharp just waited for Riddle to get it, and Cashard, that should be holding the ball. Umpire gave him the full benefit of the doubt. Sears lost his footing. Hand pass, and Sharp grabs it. He's a bit indecisive. Had Caldo running by his side. He looked to give it back to Sears. Sears, he's also sidestepping. They don't want to overuse the handball, and they might have just done so, the Thunder, rather than banging it forward. I know it's a fine line at sometimes.
How good was Caldo then? Took the tackle and then on the swing around released the footy. For any young players watching, that's how you do it.
He's good size, 190 centimetres is Archie Caldo. Constable, he too is under pressure, and it's a great tackle there by Tardrew on the reigning Sandover medalist. Says, come to me, boys. Has to wait for a lead or two. Deep into the pocket. Holding his ground, though, well. Singh to read it best. And they'll look to spread. Couldn't quite hit his target in Dean. Dean luckily had enough time to get the ball moving to Watson. Watson has the hard-running Oscar Hine Baston by his side. He got the 1-2 there from Byrne. Then clears out of the back 50. Asks a fair bit of Johnson, who just paddles it to his advantage. Did really well. Went to do that again. Luckily, McDonald for the Thunder was there. Went to Draper, and they looked to slingshot it through the corridor. There's a couple of Thunder players. Simpson's one of those. He left. Tuia left it for him. Tuia taking a bounce in the middle, then firing up forward. Again, though, mark taken by Charlie Dean, who's adapted seamlessly to life in the WAFL. Hine Baston, who had his injury troubles last year, missing that final series. Great to see him back in the lineup. Cooper Moore, small forward for the D's. A lot of these young D's players, it's their second and third year, so another year of senior footy under their belt will do their stocks in the long term no harm. He goes at the top, a bit too much there for Lusk, and we'll just take a deep breath in this second quarter. It's been back and forth, but 4-3 apiece.
Hewitt got his hands full, doesn't he, with Klusk. He's been lively, Jack Klusk. So it's all tied up here at Lane Group Stadium. And working his way to the front, brilliant, Edwards. And Constable feeds it off. Was he held? No. It was a throw. So Tardrew's won the free kick. And just a bit of a lip reader there. What was that for? Is what Constable was asking. There's Tardrew. He's really lifted from about 10 minutes in that first quarter as the kick comes into Walker. Magnificent spot up. And Riddle's got off the chain and goes inboard. Shows great poise to Murray. Right foot into centre half forward. Great effort by Sears. Couldn't take the mark. Hand passed it and Edwards tried to steal it. Sears with the second effort forces the ball up. So in the true centre half forward position for Peel Thunder. They're kicking to the left of screen. Oh, the Rushton North end. There's Cossa, did well that time, won the tap. Constable got first use, Tardrew's there, and he's been copped high. So he's got the free kick, will kick from 55 metres. Sees an option that he likes, and he's got a loose player. It's got to come back though. Sears had found some space, so Tardrew looks like he wants to pass. Hasn't gone right back on the man on the mark. Here comes Simpson from 50. Drop punt towards goal. It's off to the left-hand side. And you could just tell then Drew wanted to give off, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't look super confident. Couldn't blame him from a long distance. Simpson on the run, almost squeezed that home. Was drafted as a small forward to Fremantle. Was playing in defence.
Needed Jeremy Sharp.
Here's Taylor. Dean did well to get that kick in the nick of time. Clean pick up there. Moore has Constable. They've got the overlap through Wills, who can have his eyes lit up. That might go all the way from Riley Wills. How's this sit? Oh! And I think Johnston was in two minds there whether to sock. He did have a fresh air swing and it hit the post in the end as the umpire taps the padding. Riley Wills, he maybe could have kept it running a bit as his eyes lit up, but easy said than done from up here, of course. And we're all back to a level playing field, 28 apiece. Simpson brings it out. 15 minutes gone here. McDonald.
I think Johnston was leaving it, wasn't he? And then at the last minute, he went, oh, hang on, I better kick it. And he missed it completely. Unlucky.
Oscar McDonald. Bit of a floater off the boot. Only as far as Glass McCasker, who read it best. Wants to use Taylor. Taylor comes around and just gives his forwards an opportunity. Big fist comes. Simpson has to just settle though as the pressure comes to him.
3-on-1 then against Johnston. Peel really getting around their defence. That kick's got to be better than that, doesn't it? So ball up here, top of the square. Tap down Cossa. Draper, geez, he's been good down back. And it was McDonald, gave it off to Simpson. He's wrapped up. Can they clear on the left boot now, along the line? Murray. Outstanding work, takes the mark, plays on quickly. They've got a loose player. And Nichols from about 70 metres out. The kick to full forward, he fell over.
It didn't go quick enough in the end as well.
It was Dustin Walters, and good saving mark by Perth, and Davis has got it on left half back. Called to play on, measures the pass, gets it back here. He's always got a damaging left leg. That's no different in Clark. Strong against Murphy. Takes it on centre wing, outer side. Kicks long to full forward. Johnston the target. Ball at ground level. Draper comes through and gets it to the line. Hewitt escorts it over. So boundary throw in on right half forward for the D's.
Can't be separated at the moment, these two sides. Great day here in Mandurah. Lane Group Stadium. Round 3, Southern Logistics WAFL. Appreciate your company here on 7+. Tardrew did well to get the handball out to Hancock, who was just stripped of it for a moment. Byrne went one way then the other. Eventually got it on the boot. Big fist was crucial there from Simpson. Evans tries to tap it on, and Lusk can't do anything as the umpire says, I'll have it.
Real arm wrestle at the moment, isn't it?
Sure is. Perth. It's in there, forward 50 for the time being. Johnston doing the ruck dues. Wanted to find Constable. Tardrew. Real ball magnet. Outside handball, which was interesting there. Comedy of errors. Tardrew will get it back. Again, another long handball, and they look to clear through Murray. Really like the look of him. Cossa, probably not the best player you want, with all due respect, running handball, but he does well. The big ruck on Dave Burr, and Tuia was always caught from behind there. With Watson, O'Driscoll has a smile on his face saying not much I can do about that. So Jake Watson, another inclusion today. 25 touches in the reserves last week. Had 21 touches in the league round 1. It's really interesting, of course, selection. Players sometimes seem to be dropped pretty easily. Of course, it's not just about stats, but 21 disposals in league, and he found himself in the reserves off the back of that. Big contest on the far side wing. Sanders wastes no time getting inside 50. He wants to find his target. Can he spin his opponent one way then the other? Had no choice in the end, Walters, and he can't believe his luck. Matty Taylor, just the evergreen Matty Taylor. He's played 145 games of league footy and just continues to impress in the latter stages of his career. Here's Cashard. Oh, Cashard coming through the Colt system, which made it grand final back in 2023 in the Colts. Big fist there from Edwards. Johnston, did he get legged in the end? Walker comes across to cut it off. He can show his athleticism. Brandon Walker, not his best kick, but mobbing it up there. Walters looks to go back inboard. Miss Swade with the handball. He's on hands and knees. Chewy tries to rip it out. Again, they're pretty happy to go by hand. The Thunder spinning out was Constable. Watson, he looks further afield. And did Oscar McDonald push his opponent out? Might have been the non-officiating umpire calling that. McDonald can't believe his luck. So 20 minutes gone here at Lane Group Stadium of the second quarter. It's been a pretty low-scoring second quarter compared to the first. Great mark taken there by Murphy. Second year on the Dockers list. Short ball, wasn't the required 15, didn't hit the target. Hancock had a bit of time to move with though. Up and under ball. This will take some effort to take a mark. Through the hands there of Riddle. Hand pass through Constable. Gets a stack of the footy as we know. Hand pass as well to Byrne. Gardner. Sanders came across. Can they get a bit of reward for all this effort, Perth? And it's into the hands there of Klusk, who's kicked half their goals today. He can go back for his third, but it's not going to be easy compared to his previous two.
Geez, their ball movement's been so much more potent. I've got egg on my face in this quarter, tipping that Peel was going to run over them. They have lifted considerably, Rothy.
So Jack Lusk, he seems a bit in two minds here. Went to pass it off the former Sydney Swans VFL player. He's called to play on. This would be a fair effort to kick number 3. Light work in the end. He's adapted to WAFL footy seamlessly. He's really been a pivotal answer up front, has Jack Klusk. Said he's not really a household name off the top of the broadcast, and well, he's certainly heading that way now. Did it easily in the end, and hard to believe he was in two minds with the way he got connected to that in the end.
Well, he said to Sharp, anything you can do, I can do better. We've had a couple of ripper long bomb goals, haven't we? So Perth wrestled the lead, 5-4-34. To Peel Thunder, 4-4-28. Riddle did well, got it to Sharp to Tardrew, and he runs away from Davis through the middle of the ground. Long kick to full forward, coming from behind was Nichols, couldn't take it, and wrapped up in a savage tackle, Sanders. Well played was Glass McCasker, and a bit of pushing and shoving. Not much in that as Sears comes in. Game 144, Taylor. Cossa did well. Fed the hand pass out. Tardrew involved again. Sharp to Hewitt. He's out of the back line. And Caldo kicks long from the launch pad to the hot spot. Big pack of players. Here's Toby Wan. Didn't have the footy. Play on, says the umpire. Nichols desperate. And he gets wrapped up right next to the point post. So big opportunity for Peel Thunder. Can they level it up again? Hein Baston did well. He gets rammed over the line by Adam Swede. So Perth to bring the footy back in. 23 and a half minutes gone, second quarter.
5 points in favour of Perth. They've had the upper hand in this second quarter after trailing by 8 at the quarter time break, bringing out of back defence, and Constable takes the uncontested mark.
Just amasses so much of the Peel and incredible work rate, Rothy.
Of course, Sand of the medal last year for the captain. Extra responsibility today with no perfect. Great mark there taken by Edwards. He has Davis bypassing him. Cashard up towards half forward. And Clark, hard to believe he's all by himself to direct upon McDonald. And they get a bit of breathing room here, Perth. Not 15 to Davis. That will actually suit him because he is a left footer. He lowers his eyes just over the head of Johnston. Evans potentially going to push in the back. Davies is in there for the Thunder, as is Murphy. Rather, it's Riddle. And they'll have a chance to lock it in.
Just looking at the fat side there for Perth, Peel had 3 defenders just blocking up the corridor. So they had to go inboard to Johnston. I like the way the defence is working for Peel Thunder.
Ball thrown up Sharp. He doesn't waste any time hacking it on the boot. Again, Edwards sits underneath it. The cavalry arrive. Sears had nothing to go to, so had to backtrack. Sanders, they bring it out wide. Caldo will take a bounce. Again, there's not a hell heap. He waits for Sears, who started this play. Great hard running by him. And there'll be a boundary throw in as Phillip just says well done to Glass McCasker for forcing that ball out. 25 minutes gone here. Close to half time. Not a lot between these two sides. Difference between going 2-1 and 1-2 in what is a tight WAFL competition shouldn't be underestimated. Tardra on hands and knees. Kashar just tried to whack it forward. Hewitt, sharp. Loves an up and under kick. That's no different. Inside the forward 50. Who can mark it? Umpire put the whistle away. Riddle. Umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Sears has Taylor wrapped up.
I think the holding the ball rule should be if you pick it up, get tackled, see you later. Just take the interpretation out of it, Rothy.
Can be a grey area, as we know. At many levels of football, Swade read that really well. Outside of the boot. Can he spot up a teammate? Nichols picked it up, then gave it back. Sanders off a standing step. Never looked likely, and that will ball sail out of bounds on the full. Half time approaching, and Singh to bring it back in the field of play.
So Singh has been a solid defender, long kick, and here's Murray in the van. It was Caldo, in fact, and he gets punched over the line. It's a good defensive pressure by the Ds, and that's exactly what this quarter has produced. Better ball movement and great pressure around the ball from the Demons.
A 13-point turnaround as they trailed at quarter time. They find themselves 5 points in front, so this one is set up for a cracking second half here from Lane Group Stadium. Pretty low scoring affair, but having said that, both teams are working hard in warm conditions here in Mandurah. We'll go to a quick break. On the other side of this, we'll look at the first half, some of the key players here as Perth go into the main break. Sure have. That question will, hopefully for their sake, get answered. But we're underway. Southern Logistics round 3. It's the third quarter on 7+. And we'll just be held up. Talk about those forwards. They haven't really got firing. Of course, Riddle, Sanders, Sharp, Tuia, the goal kicker so far. So some of those key ones like Tregenza and also Nichols, hopefully, for their sake, can hit the scoreboard. Sears, who's gone into the middle, probably one of the most versatile players in the WAFL competition, can play really anywhere after starting his career as a general forward. Dunstable got the hands out. Sanders, here's Swade, who's working up the ground as a player over the top, and we just spoke about Riddle. Wasn't playing with the ruck to start that contest. He can go back and kick this goal from the other end from a tight angle.
Not sure what happened there, Rothy, but yeah, that's a bit of a stuff up for the defence for Perth, because how does Riddle get out by himself?
The snap from this end of the ground, as I said. This one further out from goal, a bit more straight in front. Aiden Riddle. See that right leg heavily taped. Comes in. First game of league footy for the year. Leaves the boots. And you heard it off the boot. Aiden Riddle has his second. The big ruckman for Peel is getting on top, and they hit the front a minute and a half into this third. Aiden Riddle, quality finish off the boot. Great finish there.
Ball back in the middle. Sharp, the recipient of the tap from Cossa. Beats a few players and then long kick. Scoble read it best for the Perth Demons, and the defender takes a good mark on Nichols. That's an enthralling matchup, and he looks for the switch of play. It's an underground ball, but plenty of time to sort it out. Dean finds Phillip, and that kick a bit scrappy. Chopping in was Davies in front of Johnston. Did well. McDonald to Draper. And Draper just backpedals a little bit and then goes back towards the boundary line. McDonald measures the pass towards Juan, and he wins the free kick. Catchard copping him high. So left half back. Peel Thunder looking to slingshot here. Too much pepper on that one though. Kirk, he's got the footy, kicks it in towards full forward. And well played. Sharp got it from McDonald to Draper, but coming in was Wills. Stole it off Walker. Gets tackled now. Ball at ground level. Bodle was there, but Walker comes in and cleans up the janitor, did well, and they measure the pass to O'Driscoll. So in the true centre-half back position, Nathan O'Driscoll, the left footer, silky finisher, that's no different. Tuia gave it to Sharp. Will he get the 1-2? It was on. But no, ignores that, kicks it towards Sanders. And why wouldn't you? The young gun. He's already kicked one. Little bit of hesitation. Now he goes sideways and finds Toby Wan. And perhaps his first goal in Peel Thunder colours, Rothy.
Would be a great moment for Toby Wan, particularly to extend this lead beyond a goal. Of course, Jack Clark medal last year in the Colts for South Fremantle.
So Toby Wan, is he a left footer, isn't he?
He is a left footer, Toby Wan.
So in the wrong pocket for a left footer. Went off in quarter time in the Colts grand final last year for South Fremantle. Really hurt them. The raking left foot. It's not going to be a goal. And on debut for Peel Thunder and WAFL League debut, as Rothy said.
It's been a tough angle, that angle to score anything, let alone a goal today. Aiden Riddle potentially got a holding free kick there. And Perth have been on the back foot a little bit to start this one. Find themselves 1 point behind as the ball comes in for Peel Thunder. Right contest. Singh just has to hold his ground. Can't break out of the Murray tackle.
Just see a couple of loose players for Peel Thunder just peeling off the back here. Perth got to really man up.
Edwards. Here's Swede. Oh, just couldn't quite sit for him, Adam Swade. Bit frustrated there. Peel. Riddle doing the ruck work. Kirk's there. O'Driscoll trying to break his way through. Another consecutive ball up. Getting deeper and deeper towards Peel Thunder's goal. Murray trying to break through. Did he have Pryor? Iron Bastion can't believe his luck. Feel like Peel Thunder just peppering at the moment. Sanders did well to get the handball out. Tuia gives over, just missed past Swade with the handball. Cashard's in there. Iron Bastion, a couple of fumbles, trying to break their way through. Swade, the slim Swade kicks his second goal in league footy, and the first round draft pick in last year's draft for Fremantle loves it. Adam Swade, he threatened for a little bit there in the forward half. Goes back to the midfield to help out, but of course picked 25 in last year's national draft. He was an Essendon NGA player, but Fremantle grabbed him up the opportunity after being an All-Australian in last year's Under-18s Championships from the Calder Cannons, and goes back to the midfield for the Thunder.
I reckon Adam Swadey's going to be tagging Eminem on Insta during the week. O'Driscoll, hand pass over to Sharp. Look at this. Just burst away like a cheetah on an espresso. Brilliant. Long to full forward. Big punch from the Demons defence. Well played. That was Gardner who fed it backwards. But they're not out of trouble yet. In comes Sanders. And geez, he's a mosquito, isn't he, Rothy? Just a pest in the forward line for Perth.
Peel Thunder come out all guns blazing in this third quarter. 7-point leaders they find themselves after trailing at the main break by 5. Ball thrown in. Edwards got a double hand to it. Tardro. There's a couple of demons can't break away from. Nichols doing the ruck duties. Comes down. Sanders read it brilliantly. And the finish was almost even better. Just caught the inside of the goalpost. Could have been an EGT contender for goal of the week or year, perhaps. As they go up to 8-point leaders. Demons just need to gain some field possession more than anything.
Beast mode from Kylan Sanders. He's a real one to watch, I reckon, for AFL honours in the future. Love the way he goes about his footy. So Baxter Gray takes his time and then kicks a Peter Sumich helicopter. What a mark. Corey Byrne in game 135, showing all of his experience. Clark's got the footy. He's still 60 from goal. Chips it in to full forward. Big look at the footy there by Glass McCasker. Play on, says the umpire. Sanders deals with the crumbs and gave it to Caldo. The 1-2's on. O'Driscoll getting involved. Hand pass over the top to Murray. Has plenty of the footy, has Murray, and that kicks out of bounds on the full. And Nichols putting the big ones in, but he can't get hold of that one. So Perth through Scoble on right half back. Switch of the plays on, finds Watson, who's a good kick too. Watson's got the extra player. It's Byrne getting amongst it. And the kick towards centre wing. Outstanding Toby Wan, gets the punch in. Great golden fist, gets it over the line. And the members for Peel Thunder, very appreciative, Rothy.
They're up and about. Toby Wan doing it on the defensive end. He's up to 8 disposals in his first league outing. 19 disposals last week in the reserves and 24 in round 1. O'Driscoll did really well to slam it on the boot, and that's an example of playing in front. Tregenza looks slow to his feet, but he'll no doubt want to go back and take the set shot.
And that's what you've got to do every single contest as a full forward. You've got to be in front because, geez, it looks silly when your defender takes that. But Tregenza, he needs a little into the game, doesn't he? No better way to do it than kick a goal. So
missed through suspension last week. Corey Tregenza, 2 goals in round 1 on this ground on Good Friday against East Fremantle in that 13-point win. He's such a presence when he gets going. Of course, premiership player and really coming into the prime years of his career, Corey Tregenza. Just to get it out to double digits. It's not going to get the journey to the top of the square. How about that? Almost rucked it down to Sanders. Caldo wants to go to Murray. Murray, he's going to be in 2 minds. The cavalry arrive for the D's. Sharp, we know what he wants to do with a standing step. The D's recognise that. Simpson says, I'm just going to slam it on the boot as long as I can. Going back to goal. Dangerous position, and Tregenza after that shot plies it on the defensive end.
Did you see Sanders then? He needed to do an underground hand pass out to get to his teammate, and he did it. It was just great awareness, wasn't it, for the situation?
Very smart footballer, Sanders. Back 50 for the D's. They might try and rush this through. They do through Dean. So they're doing well to hold on, but they can't. They're going to have to do more than hold on in this one. 9 points it is.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Rothy, as the long kick in from Perth. Towards right, half back it was. And Glass McCasker sees Davies over the line, and another resolute performance from Davies as he gets high fives all round from his teammates. So centre wing, outer side of the ground. You can see Thompson Street netball courts in the background. Always a hive of entertainment and busyness as they win the clearance here. Perth Demons, Byrne hacks it towards centre half forward. Johnston did well, little toe poke. And they've got the footy. Shot for goal by Jack Evans. Superb goal. Perth get one back. Reward for sustained pressure there, the Demons, and Jack Evans in the right place at the right time. That is a clutch finish, Rothy.
Sure was. Much needed as well in his first game of the year. Had 18 touches in the goal last week in the reserves. Played both in both of their finals last year for the league side, and that's a great way to get them back to under a goal. 3 points exactly. It's been an arm wrestle in this one. Low scoring, but we continue again from the outset. Wills on hands and knees. Constable in there to support. And we'll have that ball up. Ball remaining in the centre square.
You get the feeling Peel are really lifting, but they just can't seem to get reward for effort.
Riddle doing the ruck duties. Hancock clearing ball. Almost a mark there by the man on debut with the one hand. Cossa. Scoble just has to follow it to the boundary line. Sears really lifted as this one has gone on.
How good was that? 3 or 4 players going out of their way to get around him. You'd love to see that as coach, wouldn't you?
Adam Reid been pretty content with this third quarter so far as the ball's on the Hayden Ballantyne wing. Quick hand pass comes out to Sharp. Sharp draws the opponent, Chewy up. Knows he is on his left foot, and he kicks it up to the man on debut. Takes it in just the field of play. Toby Cossa, and there was ever a tough kick on debut I'd like to know about, because this would just about top them from the boundary line this far out.
This is a massive kick for the debutant, isn't it?
So he comes into the side for Mason Cox today after dominating in the reserves. Of course, very tough shoes to fill in the form of the big Texan. That's not going to score. Pretty good purchase on it in terms of the accuracy. Comes down, a couple of Thunder players there, pretty eager to snatch it from each other. Byrne clears it out, might come back that exact way. Hancock couldn't quite hold the mark. Nicely done there by Moore. That was tremendous, in fact, to impact the contest and then outnumber his opponent with the hands. That's not a great handball there from Evans, but he probably didn't have a lot of choice, and he'll get rewarded with a holding free kick. Davies just holding on to his fellow number 6 a bit too long. Jack Evans wants to go back in board, but he's going to be forced the shorter option. Clark. Davis, we know he'll want to go back onto his left. He does that eventually. Nice kick in board to find Gray. Byrne, he got a quick kick out. The tallest player down there was Gardner. He keeps it in the field of play though. Johnston has to circle around his opponent, Kane Johnston. Then Constable for standing step, centres the ball in the direction of Wills, and Clark, the big key forward, to stay out of my way. I'll impact this contest, and I'll do it by clunking the mark dead in front.
A great pluck from Clark. Like a lighthouse in a storm, wasn't he? And this is a big kick.
Had a set shot from the other end. This one a bit more conventional for a player of Clark. Really has to drill this. And for all the work that Peel Thunder have done, Perth have gained back the momentum. They lead by 3 this time. Courageous mark there taken by Clark. And he hits back. 3-point lead, and it feels like the very definition of a real tussle, this one.
So the Demons continuing their spirited run. Peel Thunder really threw down the gauntlet. They've responded, the D's. O'Driscoll got it out to Caldo, who spots up Sanders. A real crowd favourite here is Kylan Sanders. On the right foot, long, in towards Nichols' territory, punched away. Well done, Scoble, gets it over the line. And we'll have a boundary throw in right next to the point post. Right full forward pocket for Peel Thunder, kicking towards the Mandurah Forum end. They'll be looking to pump a few on the roof. So lots of remonstrating from the Demons defenders. Edwards in front, did well against Nichols. Got it to a teammate. Hein Baston on hands and knees. Couldn't get it out. O'Driscoll wraps up. One of the players from Perth, the defender. And another ball up. So still inside 50 for Peel. Catchard, good pressure by Tuia. Sanders again, the opportunist. Throws it on the boot, but it's out of bounds on the full. Deep in that right full forward pocket.
8.5 minutes gone here. Thanks for your company on 7+ throughout the afternoon. Southern Logistics WAFL round 3 action. Both these teams coming off a loss last week after round 1 wins. Constable goes short to Taylor. Taylor also elects to go short. Not 15, so Davis has to go back to the player that gave it his way. Dean, the furthest player back, says, come to me, boys. They don't want to muck around with it by hand too much, and they're going in a circle. Eventually goes back to Davis, who doesn't have a heap to go with, has to lower his eyes and hit the target anyway. It was going to be a down the field free kick to Phillip, who started this game really well. Maybe he's just gone a fraction quiet. He hand passed over the top to Davis. Right idea in mind, but didn't realise Caldo was closing in on him. And no prior deemed, so they got away with one there, the D's.
So ball up on right half forward. Edwards, front left, did well. And the slim Swady, he's wrapped up that time. You've got me saying it now, Rothy. There's Catchard on left half back. He's got the footy. Holds the ball up in the air. Maybe a set play or just telling the boys down the ground. It was Johnston who flew for it, but brilliant. McDonald Plucked it nicely and Wan's got it in the true centre-half back position. Kicked it to centre wing outer side. Sears brushes him off. Did well. Sanders, he's got the footy. Left half forward, still outside 50. Underground ball near the line. Hein Baston did well against Sanders. And it's gone over for a boundary throw in on the far side. Left half forward for Peel Thunder. Just over 20 minutes gone.
Set up for a cracking finish in this last quarter. Still a few minutes to play out in the third term though. 6-7 43 the Thunder trail. Perth 7-4 46. Not a shootout by any means, but sometimes those are the better games when it's a nice old-fashioned style of footy. Tuia spots up an opponent and it was just weighted perfectly in the end. It was to Nichols and he had a snap from the other side, and I dare say in his preferred route this one will be a lot better.
Oh, he's looking around to pass off, but Tuia, there's a bit of Milan Murdoch about him. He's just such a hard worker, and the left foot pretty silky then.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Some traits with Milan Murdoch, who's playing in that derby tomorrow against Fremantle, and another Freo listed player here, Nichols. He's had his fair share of chances. Can he finally get a bit of reward on the scoreboard, where Riddle had a shot earlier from this angle? He doesn't turn around his goal kicking and accuracy today. Just the minor behind. 2 points the Thunder find themselves behind. The ball stayed in that area of the ground a lot, so the D's try and change things up, and they do successfully. You wonder maybe why that didn't come earlier. Wills from one end to the other in a blink of an eye. That was just too quick for any of the Thunder players to do anything about it. And I mean, it's easier to say from up here, but you've got to wonder why sometimes that doesn't get...
Look, brilliant stuff, wasn't it? Straight down the middle, like a hot knife through butter, and Clark kicking for goal now. We asked for more from him. He's lifted.
Can he kick his second this quarter in the matter of moments? Clark, this time to get it out to that 8-point lead, which was the quarter time deficit. He strikes true, and it's Perth through Aaron Clark, who have a bit of breathing room deep stages of this third. So Aaron Clark kicks through his second goal of the quarter. He hasn't been goalless in a game since round 12 of last year, so just complete consistency for the D's key forward.
He's looking the goods at the moment. Well done. Edwards won the tap down, and they go inside 50 again. The D's off hands. Chance for Crumming here. Evans gets shrugged off by Hewitt. Good defensive pressure. They're calling for holding the ball, but it's going to be a ball up. So in the last line of defence, Hewitt dealing with Evans. And Cossa up against Johnston. And the crumbs came to Murphy. Hand pass to McDonald. And then Simpson towards Murray. Tested the hammies out then, but takes the chest mark. Dicey kick into the corridor. Had to be precise. It was centimetre perfect. Cossa gave it to Tuia. And Toby Wan in his debut looking the goods. Spots up Sears. And the skipper chips it in towards right half forward. Caldo dropped what looked to be an easier mark for him. Kirk with the crumbs. Gives it to Gardner. Dean. One way then the other. Did he overdo it? No, he didn't. Outstanding work, Watson. And away go Perth through Wills. Head centre half back. Can they slingshot down the other end of the ground? Moore's got it. On centre wing, outer side. Kicks long. Down the line. Constable up against Murray. That's a great matchup. McDonald came through. Draper, the cavalry come in for the Thunder. And now Sharp's got it. Just a bit of hesitation. Then Borks gave it to Murray, gets it back. And then the hand pass along the line. McDonald pushed onto his left, and it's a turnover ball. Outstanding pressure work by the Demons and Wills. On right half forward. Just backward of the launch pad. Still a fair kick to get it inside 50. Pinches a few and then gets it in there. Johnston, one hand on it. Walker gets bundled over. McDonald gave the hand pass off. And calling for a free kick, Catchard. Thought he got tackled high, but that was great stuff by Sharp. Ball up deep in the Perth Demons forward line.
Over 25 minutes gone in the third term. Dribbling ball along the deck. Looked the goods for a moment there. Cashard only a behind, but 9 points for the Demons. It's been a real arm wrestle all day. They've got the better of this third term after they started pretty slow.
Geez, there's been some incredible underground goals this season already, haven't there?
Has been a fair few. The EGT goal of the weeks continued. Round 3, there'll be a lot of them, not only in this game you'd suspect. And caught up there is Tuia.
Called a pretty handy goal last week as well, Ethan.
Yeah, was pretty lucky to be calling that one when McLaughlin kicked that beauty for Swan District in the opening term. Of course, they didn't end up going all the way in that game, but as far as this one concerned, ball just over the head of Tuia. Did really well to trap it in the end. Sears. Nichols could keep moving if he want, but he knows he has a player over the top, and in the form of Tregenza, had a couple of bites at the cherry. Dean did really well to not give up on it. He goes to ground. Hardbaston's on his wrong side, has to trust Watson, which he does. Keeps his cool. And Hardbaston will get it back. He loves to rebound through the corridor. Can they find Clark? Clark working up to ground, almost threw that out in the end. Not sure if he dispossessed that. Umpire might have been blindsided. Gray, quick ball over the top, and it's the man who's already kicked 3 this afternoon in Klusk.
Geez, that hurts. When you've got the defender not even with eyes on the footy, I thought that was probably a free to Tregenza, and then to Clark to miss that one. So, bit of the rub of the green going the way of the D's.
So Klusk, he's kicked 3 out of the 8. Those 3 being in the first half. Deep stage of this third term. This would be a real confidence booster for the Demons to get it out to a 15-point margin with 1 quarter of the play. You wouldn't put it past him, judging on today's accuracy. And that is no different. He's kicked 4 goals, Klusk. He's looked the most lively out of the D's today, and they go out to 15-point leaders. Talk about taking your chances. Klusk has had 8 disposals, kicked 4 goals. It's just efficiency in a nutshell.
And look, as a forward, when you tick over 4, you kind of feel like you've done your job. I know Plugger Lockett, he was pretty close to 4 a game for his career. Incredible stuff. Cossa on top of Edwards. But there's the siren, the end of the premiership quarter, and Perth looking like the better side at the moment, Rothy.
They are, and you probably wouldn't have said that at the start of that third quarter, how the Thunder came out to play. They're not out of it by any means, and we know the fitness that these 13 AFL listed players and the rest of the WAFL listed players possess. But as far as this one concerned, it's Perth going into this last term with a 15-point lead. They've bounced back pretty well after a loss last week to South Fremantle by 46 points, but it's not done just yet. They'll want to close out this one and make sure they come away with the 4 points. It's Peel that will have to come from behind to steal a victory here in Mandurah. It's Lane Group Stadium, 3/4 time. Half an hour or so left to play in Mandurah as we see who comes out with the points. We're back for the 4th and final term on 7 Plus right after this.
Key back as well, hasn't he?
Bit of a jack of all trades is Sears. Can do it all, as he's done many a time in the WAFL competition. And we're going to get underway for a massive last term here. O'Driscoll's going into the midfield to support the likes of Tardrew out there. You feel like he's going to have to get into this game. Nathan O'Driscoll, if there any chance coming from behind, but it's going to be the start of this one in the last quarter. The 2 rucks, Edwards up against the man on debut. And Cossa, 207 centimetres he's listed at as well, so only 4 centimetres shy of Mason Cox, who he's replacing.
It's massive, isn't it? Take us away, Ethan Roth.
4th and final quarter coming up. Who will steal the points? It's been an arm wrestle, and it's the Demons who are the visitors and the lead by 15 points. You know, it's a tough place to play here in Mandurah, so almost adds to it if they can come away with a victory.
That's a big matchup, isn't it, Tardrew and Wills?
Sure is. Big kick comes out there. Trying to pick it up. Murray been impressed with him today, as has been with Gardner. Byrne, some experienced Corey Byrne, comes toward the broadcast side and hits up his player in Johnston. And they get the first here and extend this lead once more. They go in the direction of Clark. Clark just misread it, trying to come through. Again was Gardner. Sharp, hand pass out to Murray. Murray has no choice but to take over the boundary line. And I think with Corey Byrne, just one thing I'll say is it can be underestimated. He was at Perth for a long time without unsuccessful, stuck it out, and obviously reaping the rewards now. By no means will be satisfied, but just to be able to stick it out and contribute to this Perth team week in, week out for a number of years is a testament to him.
Wills just before, incredible little double-handed volleyball tap to keep the ball moving for his side. So O'Driscoll, left half back, throws it on the boot. Scrappy old kick, barging his way through. He's wrapped up. And Tregenza, really bullocking work and leading up the ground, trying to get his mitts on it. Cossa versus Edwards. Both of them got a bit of a touch on it, and then Cossa ends up with it again. And another ball up. So enthralling ruck battle in this last quarter. Edwards and Cossa again, very similar. Walker got rid of the hand pass. Hein Baston gave it off to Constable. Constable, well done Cowdo. Read it best and then gave it to Davies. Davies goes backwards to McDonald. Almost making a meal of it. Clark comes in with the late pressure. Got it to Simpson. And his kick, a tracer bullet to Sanders. Takes it in the midst. Goes inboard to Walker. Quality disposal from Sanders. Walker plays on, runs his full measure. Dummies, and then kicks it out towards Cossa. And only gets the one paw on it, and it goes out of bounds. So Edwards putting a bit of perceived pressure on. So boundary throw in, right half forward for Perth inside the first 2.5 minutes.
They've done pretty well, Perth, to nullify the influence of Brandon Walker. He's had the 11 disposals, but he can be very damaging of half back using his running capacity as well. Ball thrown in, Cossa. Through the hands of Sharp. Davis, one there by his side. And then number 10, Guernsey. A lot of jumper changes as well on a week-to-week basis for Peel. Of course, a lot of their Dockers players changing numbers. One and the number 10, Sharp. He's been consistent in the number 5. Again, a hand pass to that. He might have been slung to ground. Umpire didn't give any of those free kicks either way. Jeremy Sharp up to 26 disposals, a goal to go with that. Been in great form. Looks to earn his spot back in the Fremantle lineup. One, had Walker, gives it back to Toby One. Could he go all the way? Does the team thing, bit of a floater and gives it off to Tobin Murray. And I think that's great maturity there from Toby One. I think on debut you can definitely be tempted to try and go all the way, but does the team thing, knowing that Murray's in a better position and Tobin Murray can go back for his first.
It's just so important to lower your eyes when you're looking to kick inside 50, because if the option's there and you end up trying to hack it for goal, you look silly, don't you? So that was brilliant by One.
So Tobin Murray, taken in last year's national draft from the Geelong WAFL side as a mature age up. He's had his moments today. A lot of raps on him in the pre-season. He comes in. He knows it straight away as well. Tobin Murray, he's pumped up, and it's back to under double digits in the opening 5 minutes of this last quarter. His 5th goal of the season, Tobin Murray. He just knows where the goals are, but that's not the only thing he's done well today, and that could be a lifter for the Thunder as they look to hunt down what is a 9-point margin they still find themselves behind by.
Yeah, I liked his game a lot, Ethan. He's been up and about every single quarter. As a tap came down and lands for Catchard. Brilliantly good chase in the end by the Thunder, but they've got it through Constable to full forward. And Clark gets pushed out by Davies. And the kick wasn't to his advantage. And it's very hard to move. Young Davies plays on now. Hugh Davies, right foot drop punt towards right half back. Sanders was in the van. Coming over the back was Dean. Forces the ball at ground level. Constable picked it up. He gets gang tackled by Walker and Sanders. So the Thunder sensing it's a big part of the match. 5.5 minutes into the last quarter. They're 9 points down. Well done, Edwards. Shrug Riddle out of the way, but Tar Drew at the last minute forced the turnover. Outstanding. One. Gave it on to O'Driscoll. Here's Swade. Couldn't pick it up initially. Backpedaled. Did well. Then tries to kick it to Cossa. Just ran under it a bit too much. And away goes Dean and the Demons. Davis did well. Beat a player. Gave it to Wills. One comes in, so does Sharp. Davis over the footy. And good tackle by Cossa. And just a bit of inexperience there by Cossa. Didn't quite judge the footy and He's frustrated there. Bit of lip syncing. I can pretty much guess what he said then. As Edwards, front left, did well. Got it to Kirk. Snap kick out of the pack. Up and under ball. Simpson was in best position. Got it to Wan and then to Sharp. A deadly kicker of the footy. That's no different. Into the pocket. Trying to find Sears. Scoble comes through and they see it over the line with Singh. And that's deep in the right full forward pocket for Peel Thunder. Kicking to the left of screen.
They're coming hard on the Thunder. We mentioned those AFL listed players who might have the upper hand when it comes to fitness the longer this one goes on. The likes of Scoble trying to make sure his defence is as settled as possible. Staying in there for the time being. Peel Thunder haven't beaten Perth since 2024, which is the year of their premiership.
I'm just wondering who Scoble's actually on at the moment.
Looks like he's taking a bit of an approach to oversee things. Hopefully the ball doesn't get back there, and it's not going to be doing that for the time being as Davis. He's ran hard all day. Klusk, a rare touch for him that isn't a goal. Held up with Davis as well. Old-fashioned sort of game it is. 59 playing 50. But it's the D's who've taken their chances. Wills throws his head back, wanted the free kick. Umpire wasn't buying any of it.
I thought he did get him a bit high, just in the wrong position then, but that happens in footy, doesn't it?
Very tough task for people in green to get positioning and make those decisions, especially in the last quarter. Sharp goes off the deck. Phillip mobs up and has no choice but to go over the boundary line. 8 minutes played in this fourth quarter. Perth just have that breathing room with a 9-point buffer, but still they won't be confident with the way that Peel Thunder are charged. If they get another one, that would extend it though. One. When it wants to go by the kick, changes approach at the last moment. Phillip to Taylor. Taylor outside of the boot, clears it. Foot race is on. Not sure this ball will stay in. It doesn't. And another opportunity for the Thunder to mob up.
So last touch rule. Peel have got it. And Walker on centre wing, outer side. Goes to the corridor. Finds Tardrew. Been a critical player in this contest. Gives it to Walker. Well done. Shows great dash. Like David Campese then. Brilliant. It's through centre half forward, but the kick isn't. Straight to Wills. And that's a let-off for the Perth Demons. And I've liked Wills' second half in particular. That kick, outstanding. Hits Davis. And playing for the 50 doesn't get it as Kirk. Davis provides the supporting run. Silky left foot. And then they get it on through Catchard. Here's Klusk. 4 sausage rolls this afternoon. Goes the underground ball to Johnston. And then waltzes past Murphy. Is this a contender? EGT goal of the week? No. And a little bit interesting there. Murphy just looked all at sea. I think he thought it went out of bounds, Rothy.
Turned his opponent inside out with ease, did Johnston, and couldn't quite finish, but terrific effort in the first place. Hancock to bring the ball back in for the Thunder. It's a 10-point margin. Walker, he's unmarked. Looks a bit sore, Brandon Walker. Looks to spread through Murphy. He'll go to Sharp. Possession number 29 coming up for Jeremy Sharp. More of an inside role. He's been typically an outside player in his career, of course, coming over from Gold Coast to Fremantle. Just finds himself on the outer of the side at the moment, but through no fault of his own, really, at least in recent weeks. Davies long down the ground to a genuine pack contest, and the young man in Riddle has had his moments today. Goes to Sharp, who just continues to find it, selling the dummy, then goes back to Walker. Walker, acute angle, and it's a game of inches. That stays just in the field of play to Murray. That goal earlier. He wheels around. Can he find a target? Wants to put it in the path of Nichols, who did a lot right. Tregenza, he wants to find a teammate in Swade, who ducked the head. Scoble, they go by hand. Interesting decision. Kirk, he wants to go by hand. Eventually says, I'm going to kick it out, and it's going to go out of bounds play. Sharp marked it anyway. Oh, it's touched off the boot, says the umpire, so that result couldn't have gone any better for the D's considering it didn't stay in.
So boundary throw in here. Left half forward for Peel Thunder. 11 and a half minutes gone, final quarter. Kicking to the Rushton North end. And coming through is Byrne. They win the clearance, the Demons, and they've got numbers here, but it's turned over. Looking for Constable. And here the Thunder go. Sharp. He's got a rocket boot. Goes short to Tregenza. Brilliant last minute punch by Dean. Sharp still got space. Gives it to Juan, to Caldo. But that kick is poor, and Byrne in the right place at the right time takes the saving mark. Chops it off and then kicks it across to Edwards, the big fella. And Juan just gives him one for his troubles. So on right half back, Edwards and Peel, they've been coming. Just can't get the goal on the board. Floating across was Murphy for the Thunder. Great soccer off the ground by the D's. That was Evans. But again, numbers for the Thunder here. They can slingshot off half back. O'Driscoll's kick towards Swade wasn't great. Hein Baston came in. Swade, superb second effort. And O'Driscoll can clean up his poor work from earlier. Finished well. McDonald kicks into full forward. Off hands. In comes Singh. Sears all over him like a cheap suit then. And he goes out of bounds. Well played, the Thunder forwards. And it's deep in their right full forward pocket. Time ticking away. Almost 13 minutes gone, Rothy.
Still a fair while to play out, though. Plenty of time for Peel Thunder. They want to get a goal here to get it back under. One straight kick. Ball thrown in. Nichols doing the ruck work. Comes down. Tuia maybe copped a high free kick. Umpire let it play out. Kirk has Caldo right by his side. Byrne, nice handball out. Klusk, this is as far as he's worked back today. They keep it in the Thunder. Hewitt. Tuia, surely not. Although it wouldn't surprise you, considering what he's been able to do in his WAFL career and as a left footer, but can't quite curl that back. We probably curled it too much in the end, too early. And 9 points as it stands. But I'm not sure why Hein Baston was in such a rush there. And it could be a 7-point play coming up for Nichols.
Nichols with the yips. Can he put it to bed? I just started having this premonition, Rothy, that he might have a shot for goal to win it for him right at the end. Imagine that.
This one wouldn't quite win it for them, but it would definitely get them back to under a goal.
I was talking in about 10 minutes' time, maybe.
Hopefully, he would have to focus on this one before he thinks too far ahead. But it would no doubt help. That old saying, if it doesn't have to be your day, but it can be your moment. And for Nichols, he's had a day to forget in front of the big sticks. He's presented hard, and this is a gift considering he came straight from Hein Baston in defence. And he snuck it in. It wasn't overly convincing. A sigh of relief. The Thunder are back to 3 points within the Demons. And gee, we're really set for a thrilling finish here in Mandurah. He hasn't had his kicking boots on today, Charlie Nichols, but still kicked his 5th goal of the season. And you could see a bit of weight lifted off his shoulders. 3 points, and every time Perth look like they could be in with it, they get challenged by the Thunder.
Coach killer goal for the Demons. Well done, Byrne. Got it to Glass McCasker. Brilliant by Tuia. Last minute pressure on the footy. Over the ball is Hancock. Very experienced campaigner. 175 games, Hancock. Tuia, true centre back position, spots up Tardrew. Can be very damaging. O'Driscoll, he's been having a run on the ball. Looked like he was going to use Davies. Goes himself in the end, long left foot. Big punch by Dean, that was superb. Another Golden Fist contender, and it wraps into the goalpost. So a minor score, and Taylor turned one over from the last kick in. He won't want him to be doing that again. He might be relieved of the kick-in duties. So just chips it towards Watson. Jake Watson finds Charlie Dean. Walks around him and kicks along the line. Davies! Then Constable upset. A hospital pass for him, but Davies was grinning as he took that one. And Hewitt's got the footy. They've gone back to go 2 forward here. The former Rocco Ram. That kick is good to Sharp. Watch for the big right foot drop punt here. Runs his full measure. from the launch pad to the hot spot. Tregenza's down there. So's Riddle. Nichols, but Riddle snaps on goal. He's missed. How'd you see it, Rothy?
For all his good work today, you think that was a no-brainer. Gee,
that's
how
a real
costly
missed one.
could it be? How costly could it be? Still 17 minutes, but Perth are out here, taking the mark. Watson, he's called to play on though, probably thought one's too many steps ahead. Davis is going to be caught there by Cato. Now, did he have prior? And it's probably the right decision in the end. I know you can be tempted to be caught holding the ball, but he probably didn't have prior as much as it maybe looked like from the naked eye. Look, 17 minutes gone. I do not want to say next goal wins because that is not the case, but getting ever closer to maybe that territory, particularly Perth. If they get one here, they'd be 7 points up. Both Peel players go to ground. Evans recognising he has to get the ball forward. McDonald keeps his cool and a couple of Peel players settle. Murphy. It's been an absolute arm wrestle all day. Nothing separating them. Perth through Byrne. Lowering their eyes. Going to Bodle. Back into the lineup. Kicked a goal. Moore! Cooper Moore can say, I'll go back and kick this. He might have been tempted to go over the top to Clark, but great maturity shown there to go back and steady. Cooper Moore.
How good was Watson at that stoppage? It was a real 50-50 ball. He put his body on the line, snaffled it, and got it moving for the D's.
So Cooper Moore kicked a goal last week in that loss. It's a bit of a floater. Sometimes that's all you need though. Bit of breathing room. They're not home just yet, Perth, but that will do their chances no harm through Cooper Moore. 7 point leaders, Perth. Back and forth footy, but just over that goal margin. They haven't done enough yet. I'm confident to say that, but gee, they'd hate to lose it from here.
Constable just looking very ginger at this centre bounce. I reckon that ball he had to sit under before. He's copped a corky or something. Byrne did well. They win the clearance, the D's. That's what they needed. Kirk feeds it to Catchard. Key players for Perth. And not able to take it was Bodle. And Evans ends up with it. And Walker did pretty well in the end to avoid the high tackle free kick. So ball up. Just backward of the centre circle for Peel. Perth pushing to get another goal. Tuia ends up with it. Edwards wraps him up. A real David and Goliath battle that. So Cossa up against Edwards. Cossa got the majority of the hand on it, and Tuia wins the clearance again. He's been good. Tregenza gets bumped over. He's sore. Tuia ends up with it again. Tardrew gives it back to Tuia, racking them up. Here's Scotty Tuia. And here's Hancock. Lowers the eyes, and that kick straight to Hein Baston, and Swade just hanging back, wanting the deeper ball. But Hein Baston well read, and he goes laterally, finds Charlie Dean on left half back. Time ticking away here. They're up by 7 points. So 2 straight kicks. Very handy that extra point, Rothy, as Singh goes to Scoble. They've come all the way across the ground now. Hein Baston on right half back. Singh gets it again. They go to the boundary line. Hard up against it, right in front of the away benches. So Wills taking his time. Is it too early to run the clock down, Ethan? I think it is. Over the back. Good punch by McDonald and pressure on Clark. Simpson over the footy. Well done, Edwards comes in, and Cossa escorts him over the line. So central commentary position. We've got a hot one on our hands, Ethan.
7 points. Perth find themselves in front. You only have to look at the scoreboard to see that they've made the most of their chance in front of goal. 10-6, leading 8-11. Crowd up and about here. They want to see their Thunder fire back. But the D's 7 point leaders trying to break through as Kirk has Tardrew for company the whole way. Probably the longest trip you'll typically make in WAFL footy down here in Mandurah, so anytime you do, you want to make sure it's a enjoyable trip back up the freeway. Walker trying to break through. Kirk this time on the second end of the contest. Particularly if they have their traditional Anzac Day game next week against East Perth on the 25th. I want to go in with that with a win next to their name. It's been a great traditional fixture between two proud clubs. We'll close this one out first. Peel Thunder of Subiaco next week on Anzac Day as well. Edwards tries to palm it down the way of Constable. Evans, that was brilliant. Cashard, expect that to be a high free kick. Toto Murray can't believe it.
It's hard, isn't it? Murray, he couldn't have really done anything else with that, but yeah, that's a tough one to call.
They're going to be physical, but obviously there's a fine line. Doesn't have to be a lot to give away a free kick at the best of times. Great marker there from, looked like it was Johnson, but the first gamer, and Costa standing up when he needed to. He goes short to O'Driscoll. Of course knows Perth very well, being drafted out of the Perth City Club via Northam. Swayed with the hands of him, but it was played on in the end. Interesting, the players stopped, not even they knew what happened, including Murray, who had the ball in the hands. Taylor grabs it up, comedy of errors. Perth looking to capitalise though. Byrne just got it on, which was really important. Comes to Johnson. Can they close this one out, Demons? Not sure who that was intended for. McDonald has to keep it in. Over the top handball is a good one. O'Driscoll's on his left side, who will pump it forward into a contest. It's Perth though, but getting the fist in was Nichols. Had not else to do there. Swayed one way, then the other. Hand pass comes out to Hancock. They need a goal quick. The Thunder, genuine one-on-one. Hancock, can they get boot to ball? Sanders had no support and played the goalkeeper role really well. Was Dean. He goes short to Scoble, and the bare minimum is just kept in the field of play.
Oh, Charlie Dean, take a bow. How good was that? Scoble deep in the right full-back pocket now. It's going right down to the wire. And Perth in the box seat at the moment. O'Driscoll desperate. Kirk comes through. And you can see the traits from his DNA. He's a real goer, isn't he? So last man up was Kirk Cossa. He's lifted up here against Edwards. Both of them get a hand to it. Targery gets it to Sharp. To the left foot of O'Driscoll. Into full forward. Big fly by Sanders. Got hands to it. Here comes Murray. Shut the door. They're within 1 point. Murray kicks his second goal, an opportunistic brilliance from him. And it's 1 point the difference, Ethan, in Mandurah.
They've had more scoring shots. They still find themselves 1 point behind. Who is going to steal this one if the Thunder are to do so? Toby Murray joins Aidan Riddle as the only multiple goal kicker from a Peel perspective. Over the 25-minute mark, WAFL footy continues to deliver in round 3. The contest comes out to Burns. Snapping ball around the body. Goes through the hands there of Hewitt. Davis has to just settle for the ball up. There's a high free kick. Walker can't believe his luck. Got to be careful not to give away the 50 here for dissent. You can hear the boos from the sidelines. Davis trying to milk as many seconds as he can. Goes deep inside 50. What a classic this one's been. One goal could just about put the lid on it, but it's going to be the Thunder through Simpson take the game on. To this broadcast side, they've chucked Davies forward. Very interesting decision. Is that the siren? The siren! The Demons have held on for a classic win in Mandurah. Peel Thunder did everything they could, but one solitary point is all that splits them at Lane Group Stadium. They make the long trip down to Mandurah, and the Demons hold their nerve to win 10-6-66 over the Thunder, 9-11-65.
Wow.
Just about out of breath here in the commentary position. Tim Lee's just about speechless.
Oh, wow. Cossa, how good was he for Peel Thunder, the first gamer? He really lifted, didn't he, in the ruck? But that is a brilliant win, as you see a bit of claret coming down Clark's lips there. But they are seriously in it this season, aren't they? That was a fantastic come from behind. Well, I mean, they weren't really that far behind, were